Next up, we have a professor from accounting here at UH. His name is John Wendell.
Yeah, it's the college people. I'm an accountant, so you might think, well, geez, time to fall asleep. But there's a lot of things in accounting that are important in this fiscal crisis. I want to make it first say there's definitely a crisis. We have less revenue coming in than money going out right now. We're looking about over $1 billion over the next couple of years. But I've got to explain a few things. Government is not a business. Wendell comes from a family of car dealerships, last time I remember. You can't just stop selling the cars that are unprofitable. Hawaii has always had a history of doing this. We've had all these consent decreements. Remember the Felix consent decree? Because we weren't taking care of our disadvantaged students, our students with disabilities. The federal government had to force us to do it. The federal government has had to force us to provide mental health services for our prisoners and the people of the state, because the state has never taken responsibility for the disadvantaged. Never! Okay. Now, let me get to the accounting. The governor is always, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to cut everything, but we have a balanced budget amendment. I have no choice but to screw the people of the state of Hawaii and screw this university because we have a balanced budget amendment. I want to tell you that's a lie. It's an absolute lie. It's a shell game. They move money from one fund to another. They play games. I'll give you an example. The governor earlier this year said, I'm not going to pay the retirement system this year. Guess what? They added $230 million to the general fund by saying she's going to pay him a little late. What kind of a game is that? She says we can lag the payroll here at the University of Hawaii and it's going to save them $12 million. Think about that. How could you save $12 million by paying somebody 5 days later? You can't do it. All they have to do is move the money around and the general fund is balanced. Now it's true. We're going to have to make up that $1 billion sometime in the future. There's no doubt about it. But the state of Hawaii is nowhere near running out of money. Nowhere near. We're not going to be like California and have to pay people in script. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. Look, it's a shell game. But here's the choice what they're doing. We're going to have to pay that $1 billion back in the future, but we're going to have to pay a lot more if we listen to her and do the cuts. We already know they've stopped doing the programs to take care of the invasive species. We wait on those things, it's going to cost a lot more. We deferred maintenance. These buildings are starting to crumble. It's going to cost a lot more. We cut your education. You're not going to be able to get a good job. You're not going to be able to pay the taxes to keep the state running. They're so short-sighted. All they have to do is move the money around, and she can meet her constitutional mandate without giving us the shaft. I'd like to say one more thing. Cayetano tried this with us before we went out on strike. He played a shell game saying that they were a lot more expensive than they were. I testified before the federal fact finders on behalf of HSTA. The federal fact finders called Cayetano a liar. I'm calling Wendell a liar right now. She is asking us faculty to take a cut salary. She's giving us the last best and final offer and said she's going to ram it down her throat. Cayetano played the same game, and we went out on strike. Wendell, you were on notice. You play that kind of game with us, we're not going to take it.
All right, John Wendell. John Wendell. John Wendell. Wow. Wow. John Wendell.
I'm telling you, I got to teach class 5.
Man, that's an accounting professor. I gotta change my major. That's an accounting professor. I gotta change my major.